Welcome to part two. We're joined by Aaron making his pokies debut. Aaron, what do you think to this Saudi carry on? What do you think? Hey,
Experiment, I think.
there.
Yeah, I think they've tested the waters. They've put some shows on. They're trying to work out how things are gonna, how they can operate themselves. And he's gone with Dana White now, and I think they'll be looking to try and make that Ring Magazine belt the holy belt in boxing, the number one belt. But I don't think it's going to work. I think there's too many dynamics, too many different moving parts in boxing for one person to control the whole thing. But I think that's his plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel that he's figured them all out, Eddie Hills and Bricktop and all that shower around them? Do you think after 18 months to 2 years, had a look at them lot and thought, no, I'm going to go with Dana White? Is that what you think? Or do you think he set out to work with them, but it sort of didn't work out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it being a long term thing. I think they'll eventually have to come back into the UK market, and but there's not much talent emerging. So we're on a short run, I think, anyway. So it's I think they're going to be hard pressed to keep pushing it like they have been, because I think the talent pool is just not there anymore.
Mm. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? What did you make of Turkey Al Sheikh and the Amzad Shiraz thing with scorecards on that? What do you make of that?
It reminded me of you remember Amir Khan when they had the guy in the hat with he were ringside against Lamont Peterson, all that carry on, and that what to do with somebody involved with their promotion at the time as well. So
That was
I mean,
the original Hat Man, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, strikes back. Yeah, so it reminded me of that. I mean, very dodgy, but these things go off, don't they? Hamza Shiraz, I was never sold on him after that fight with what's his name, the middleweight kid. Welterweight kid. Forget his name now.
Bradley Skeet.
Bradley Skeet. Yeah, I was never really impressed with him after that. I thought Skeet outboxed him, and really should have been disqualified in that. So, been coming out saying that he's like the next Thomas Hearns. And the first time he's truly stepped up, he got found out there, didn't he? And they robbed that kid blind. It was disgusting.
Yeah, Damas. Well, he still kept it
Damas.
well, but they couldn't give him the win because there would have been uproar, wouldn't they, if they gave that fight to the other kid, wouldn't they, to Shiraz?
But where's he going to go now? Because he's not. They've chucked him in deep end. He's not done. He's not earned his dues. And what they're going to do with him now? He's going to have to go back to the drawing board, isn't he? Or they're going to blame the weight and move him up weight now. Say that he's been struggling to make weight. He's been a bit of a weight bully, and at middleweight. So are they going to chuck him up to super middleweight now?
Well, you've just heard Bricktop after the fight. Whenever Bricktop's guys get a draw, he's usually screaming that they won. And he was saying, well, I could have gone either way. So that tells you that Bricktop were happy with draw. Right? Where does he go from here? Go to Andy Lee! He's going to go to Andy Lee, isn't he? And he'll probably come out icing people now, after he's had his spinach. But we're going to see, aren't we? He's moved up to super middleweight. So he's got a ready-made excuse. Well, I've moved up a weight. I was tight at the weight. No, you weren't. You told us you made the weight very easily, and you always do. And you're a middleweight. Now you've been beat. Oh, well, I was struggling with weight and my team were crap. I'm a super middle and I'm getting a new trainer. It's a classic case of a fighter who has a bad performance and looks to blame everything, the weight, the trainer, when really he ain't got it. That's it. He hasn't got it. Could you imagine him in with Frotch or something like that, or a Boute or something like that? He'll get wrote off, won't he? A Kessler. Come on.
Yeah, standards just not what it was. There was some absolute killers, isn't there?
Well, look, I've heard this morning that people are talking behind the scenes, Spencer Brown, Lee Eaton, people like that. They're talking Liam Cameron coming down to super middleweight and going to fight Shearez. And see how that's going to be like an entry fight for him at super middleweight. Well, basically, what it'll be is Liam will have to just take a loss. That's how they'll work that one. So Liam at super middle, could he do it? Yeah, it's only another £7 from light heavyweight, but like I say, it's a gatekeeper fight or an entry level fight for somebody stepping up weights. And when they're talking about Liam in that respect, how his manager Lee Eaton's going to sell that to him, I don't know. He could say, "Oh, he beat him, your hip mix, and let's roll the dice and all that." When really, he'd be donkey fodder, wouldn't he, if he fought Shiraz at 168? Do you think?
Yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, I think so.
So it is what it is. What do you think of the boxing media guys as a whole? What do you think about these talk sport and these YouTubers we access? What do you think of them all?
This is what I mean with boxing. I don't watch them anymore. I try to avoid them, to be honest, because it's the same old, same old. Like you say, no one's answering the true, the real questions. No one's asking the real questions. Sorry. Bit disappointed with Carl Froch's interview with Conor Benn last week. He's come out and said that they wouldn't allow him to ask about the tests and whatnot. But why are you interviewing him then? What is the point? You may as well just leave it alone. You've come out and you said what you've said.
He wants to get back in mix with Eddie, doesn't he, and get a job on DAZN and all that nonsense and stay in mix in case there's a fight in Saudi. That's all it is, playing game, but embarrassing themselves as well. This is people with millions in bank and nearly 100 properties or whatever he's got. So I don't know, pure greed in it and ego. I don't know. Man in the mirror moment. Have a look in the mirror, Froch, and see. And ask yourself, do you like what you see? Because them at ex-Essex, they're not your friends. They're not your mates. So you should know
he's
that.
Come out and said all this though, hasn't he? He said, he's gone against him. He's quoting your one-liners. He's used that to his advantage.
What I want to know, Aaron, is this. Has Eddie Hearn give Carl Froch his drink for introducing Joshua to Matchroom? Has he had his drink yet? Because he won't medal, did he, 13 years ago? Now, if you're still waiting for your drink 13 years later and you've not had it, you ain't never going to get it, are you? So,
no.
No matter what they tell you, but it is what it is. Wilder, they're saying he's coming back and that, and then they book these fights and then they don't happen and that. Should he really be still fighting?
Yeah, you wouldn't say so, would you? After his last two performances, right. I think Tyson Fury took his soul, didn't he, in that third fight? That was a beatdown in the end. Yeah, you know what? I'd like to see him just throw AJ and Wilder in together. They're both as shot as each other. Let him just swing it out for a few rounds. It'd still be interesting. It's a fight I'd like to see, but it's never going to happen, is it?
Mm. Derek Chisora, tell me what you think about Derek Chisora, Aaron.
He's finished, isn't he? Really, he should be finished. But I could see him carrying on. We've got another Danny Williams on our hands here. He's another one with millions in bank. He don't need to be fighting, but they just keep wheeling him out, don't they? I thought he performed quite well last time out, which is a bit fishy for a man at his age who's looked finished for quite a while. It's a bit of a surprising performance, I thought. Walling were terrible, but, for him to fight at that pace at this age after all the stick he's took in his career, it doesn't add up to me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Derek Chisora's situation, we all know he's 42 in a few months, isn't he? He shouldn't really be getting licensed. And people keep going on about Joe Joyce and we want to protect Joe. He's a nice guy and this and that. Well, Derek's two year older than Joe. He's a couple of years older than Joe Joyce. So why ain't anybody saying the same thing about Derek Chisora? Like Spencer Oliver on Talksport. He keeps going on about how he wants Joyce to retire. But why aren't you saying that about Derek? You know.
I think it's just fits their narrative, doesn't it? They want him out there earning. There's not much marketability in Joyce anymore. He's lost that. He's lost that killer look he had. You know, where he was just storming through people, and they said he had what was it, the bone density of 5 men or whatever it was. You know, now he's been stopped in his tracks a couple of times. He's lost his invincibility cloak, hasn't he?
Where's all these backup men? Where's these backup men like Sam Jones? Where are they going to be when Joe Joyce is struggling to put a sentence to? Boy, he's struggling now, isn't he? But where are these backslappers going to be?
Yeah, you fear for Joyce, don't you? Because
I do.
It's like he's got an off switch at minute. He's halfway through a conversation and he just stopped dead. Yeah, it's. I mean, is he having scans regular?
Yeah, is he? Well, obviously, you don't look like he is. Okay. Why is Eddie Hills and Crusher Ben talk like they're from Bethnal Green or East London? Why do they talk like the geezers and dab in a tab and all that when really the privately educated kids? I couldn't really work that out. You know, people talking like bruv, bruv, bruv. And Eddie, they're apples and pears, no whack, my son. Why I don't give a man kiss. That's his favourite saying, isn't it, Eddie's? Why do they talk like that when they're not about that life? I don't get that, do you?
I think they're trying to appeal to the market, aren't they? The people who are watching them. But you know, Eddie's a bit of an Essex wide boy in his own mind, isn't he? He's a 7-0 Iceman from Billericay.
Yeah,
but he's never had a fight in his life, really, has he? If we're being honest.
No, he's never had to overcome adversity. You mean, has he really?
Yeah, and then you've got Conor there. I mean, I don't know how anyone can support him and get behind him. I just want Eubank to get him out of the sport. I want him to be exposed for what he is.
Yeah, but it's just a two-faced sport, though. I mean, I'm watching that overnight. We've got Kell Brook's stepdad there hanging out back of Eddie, right? But we all remember what Kell Brook's dad was running around Sheffield telling everybody about Eddie. When Eddie ran the zone and he didn't want anything to do with Brooke Crawford and the zone didn't bid on it. We all know what he was saying then, Terry, didn't we? But I didn't see that same energy with him hanging out at the back of Eddie the other night. It's a bit strange, but that's boxing people for you, though, isn't it? Right? That's boxing people for you. Dave Allen against Elmer Fudd. The Lazy Rhino against Big Elmo. What do you think of that? You know, the whole episode where White Rhino, they're doing pundit work and doing interview after interview after interview, and we've got Elmer Fudd with Mark Tibbs in Fuerteventura as we speak, training, and not doing any interviews and not putting himself about. Do you think Dave's been set up here? Or is he his own worst enemy?
Well, yeah, he has been, hasn't he? I thought he'd turn the page now, but is he training? He don't look like he's training hard from what I can see. It's a shame because it's going to be a case of wasted talent if he don't come through. And Fisher's there for taking. I've never been impressed with him blasting out Babbage and around. Yeah, great. He's an ex-doorman, isn't he? He's not a boxer. He's just a bit of a brute, that guy. So he should be walking through him. He's a big old kid, but I think if Dave don't win this fight now, he's only got himself to blame because he should have won the first fight. He got robbed there on cards. He should have stopped him. I think he will stop him this time if he's put the work in. But there's always that question mark, isn't there? Yeah, and Fisher, where's he going? If he wins, they'll push him into another couple of couple of those like journeyman fights, I think, and then they might chuck him in with someone half decent.
But where does Rhino go if he loses, Aaron? Aaron, we're losing train of thought here. Where's Rhino go if he loses?
He'll be back out on small halls, won't he? For a couple of fights, and then they might stick him in with Fraser Clark again or someone like that, maybe.
Well, I'd have thought he'd go missing for about 10 months, put loads of weight on, then come back with a new plan, Rhino, Operation Rhino, Part 9.6 or something, and feed us a load of bollocks about how he's doing it. He wants to make a comeback for his fifth kid or something, and for the sake of his kids, all that shit. That's what we're probably going to get. So I don't think there's a fight between him and Big Freeze again. I don't think he want to go down that route. I didn't really think he put much effort in it first one, to be honest, Aaron, did you?
No, he should have won that fight really. But you know, he had a 12-week camp, and
He should have beat Fisher, should have stopped Fisher, but he didn't have enough in tank. Now, if you're not fit, that's the fundamental rule in boxing, and I quote, be fit. If you're in a 50 lap race at Formula One, you've got petrol for 40 laps. You're not going to be able to finish, are you? You see where I'm coming from? It's not rocket science. Another fight I'd like to see, David Adelaide against JKV or some of the rematch on that. I'm an Adelaide fan, but I suppose we could say you were losing the fight up until the stoppage, couldn't he? But I always thought he'd get to it end, but I'd like to see that again, would you?
um, not really. No, I think it will happen again. It has to, doesn't it? They've called for it, but I just look at these guys. If they're the best British level we've got, you know, I think you touched on it last week. Oh, I think Oldie Harrison had run through them too.
Oh,
You know, Danny Williams, Sprott, all them lot. They're Hammer Adelaide and TKV. And it's just how much the levels have dropped. And if Adelaide does end up winning again, where's he going to go? You know, is he going to run into a brick wall? Are they going to stick him in with Fisher if he beats Allen? The standards just
not put
it's not
Fisher
great.
near David Adelaide, I don't think. No.
No, you're probably right. Yeah. I mean, the 50-50 fights, though, aren't they? They should be happening.
Fisher's propping matchroom shows up in it. They're not going to want to risk that. They need him to beat Rhino, and then what'll happen is he'll have a break, and then he'll start like he's starting again, and he'll go back to near the bottom of the ladder. They're not going because he's sort of found his level now, Annie Fisher, and they're like, oh my god, they wanted it to be British Commonwealth European champion or going for European and finding his level. They didn't want him to be found out at area level, did they? Really? You
No, he
know?
never looked to me like he had a British title in him, Fisher.
Well, I always thought Fisher and Dave Allen area level on a good day there, Shalak, because you won't have either of them beating Adelaide for English or British, would you? Or you know,
No,
kind of
no,
thing. So,
no. I think Adelaide run through both them, to be honest.
where do you think boxing is? Where we've got Dave Allen, who's never ever won any belts, and Fisher getting world title money, and Liam Cameron and Ben Whittaker getting world title money. Where's boxing heading when they're getting that kind of money for no belts? You know.
I mean, it's good for the boxers, isn't it, that they're getting paid properly?
What about them boxers that have got belts and they put the time in and they're not getting a look in?
Yeah, well, that all comes back down to that marketability, doesn't it? And if they've got a name and if they've had a
What
push.
fighters with YouTube channels chatting bollocks all day on social media?
Yeah.
Because we've got enough of it with
Unfor-
trainers, haven't we? Constantly, day in, day out, trainers doing interview after interview after interview, and the fucking fighters are not even fighting anybody. We've got trainers doing interview after interview after interview. It's become boring now. In my opinion, it's just about self-promotion to put themselves in window. Because who's Flex and Bombay Dave training? Who's Peter Fury training? Who are they training these people? Who? And who's fighting in the stables? But they're doing interview after interview after interview every single day. About what? What is this talk about? Other people's business. What's happening with their fighters? That's what I want to know. What's happening with any Caldwell's fighters? Do we get to know? Or Flexers? Flex hasn't said anything since his guy got knocked out of a day, has he? Why not? All we've heard from Peter Fury is you he had a broken hand. And that's why we put him in there. What, we broken hand? I just think that trainers need to train and shut their mouths. And fighters need to fight and open their mouths if they want to be marketable. That's just how I look at it. I don't want to, you won't get Angelo Dundee out there. You don't get Usyk's trainer, do you? Do we see Usyk's trainer? Or I know you's trainer, the top two fighters in the world, or Crawford's trainer. Do we see them Day in, day out, doing interviews, yes or no?
No,
There you
no,
go.
we
So
don't.
why do we have it from UK trainers? Why? Why have we got UK trainers, chatty patties, every single day? Every day, chatty patties. And there's nothing to chat about. It's the same old spew. It's becoming ingrained in people. It's become boring. It's just a crap story, in my opinion. Crap. Uh, Promoters. Who's the top dog at the moment? Oh, do you want to go on to part three? We'll start that
Yeah,
then.
can do.
I'll see you on part three. Thanks for liking and subscribing, leaving a comment. We'll see you in a second.